Good evening, everyone, and welcome. It is Friday night. It is 7 p.m., and it is time for another 1 hour live stream. Hope everyone has had a great week. Back to the grind as always, but hey, more holidays are around the corner. Um, Speaking of which, a quick channel update concerning the holidays. On Christmas week and New Year's week, there probably will not be any live streams or full length videos, but there may be some shorts. However, that could be subject to change. So make sure you've got notifications on so that way you don't miss anything. uh, Mark says snowy, very cold week. It's been a little chilly here. Of course, there's no snow here, but it's been very, very rainy. Um, we may have some on location streams this weekend. Speaking of channel updates, however, that is basically going to be weather pending because again we've had it's been rainy for the past few days. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, even where I'm going. So it's fluid right now. I won't know until I'm there. One more thing about the channel. I'm sure everyone has seen the new video that came out last week. The updated footage for the SS United States. Quick note about that particular video. As far as full length videos on the channel, that video has been out for 7-8 days now, just over a week. And it is already the second most watched video on the channel as far as full length videos go at 26,000 views. So needless to say, I'm pretty happy about that. And, I thank you all for that. I really appreciate that. And it's still going. So we'll see when it tops out. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and get into our topics for tonight. Let's see who all we've got in the chat here. I do my customary good evening, everyone. But let's see. We've got Mark. We've got Skip. We've got Ozzy, who has subscribed for another 9 months. Thank you very much, Ozzy, for that. Really appreciate it. Let's see who else we've got. We've got Karen. We've got Buddy. We've got Anna. So buckle up, everyone. We've got a fun topic tonight, one that I think you guys will enjoy. But first, we are going to get into, a couple of news items. So let's go ahead and bring this up right here. So Bulgaria responds to mystery as sanctioned tanker drifts towards shore. The mystery around the sanctioned tanker Kairos is continuing to grow as the vessel, which was attacked with a drone last week, is now reported drifting off Bulgaria. The Bulgarian authorities are seeking to assure the population that there is no immediate danger while they continue to monitor the vessel, which is now requesting an evacuation. Kairos was the first of 2 tankers attacked by the Ukrainians off Turkey on November 28th. The tanker, which is sanctioned by the West for its involvement in the Russian oil trade, was set on fire. Turkey reported it evacuated 25 crew members. At last report, Turkey said it was discussing towing operations with the vessel's owners. The ship, which was built in 2002, is reported to be owned by Chinese interests. It reports being registered in Gambia, but that is believed to be a false flag. Midday on Friday, December 5th, Bulgarian authorities observed a vessel entering their waters and tried to contact the ship, but received no response. They issued a warning to passing ships and were later able to confirm it was the tanker Kairos. In the early afternoon, they received a request from the 10 people aboard the ship for evacuation. At that point, the ship was reported to be 7 nautical miles from the Bulgarian coast and drifting. Goes into a little bit more detail than that, but that's pretty much the gist of the story. So we'll see how that plays out. Eric's here. Welcome, Eric. Let's see. We've got one more news item this week. So let's go over. And here we are. Oh, let me let's do this. Okay, there we go. So USS Gerald R. Ford arrives in St. Thomas, USVI for R&R. The massive aircraft carrier USS Gerald R. Ford CVN 78 is making its first ever port call to St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands as part of its current deployment in the U.S. Southern Command area of responsibility. A popular port of call for cruise ships, the carrier was scheduled for a visit on December 1st to give the sailors some R&R. The stop in St. Thomas is the carrier's first port since entering U.S. Southern Command in support of Operation Southern Spear, operating under U.S. Fourth Fleet. The carrier made a rapid deployment from the Mediterranean to the Caribbean in support of the Trump administration's regional show of force and increased efforts to curtail drug shipments coming from South America. So, congrats to our sailors. Let's hope they get that R&R that I'm sure everyone would agree is very much deserved. So, that is our two news items for the week. And now it's been a while since we've done it, but this week in history. Are you guys ready? Here we go. Let's see. We're going to skip over to our next image. Here we go. All right. This week in history, December 1st, 1814, General Andrew Jackson, commander of the U.S. Army of the Southwest, hastened to defend New Orleans, Louisiana, against a British invasion. A series of skirmishes over the next few weeks culminated in the Battle of New Orleans. Next up, December 1st, 1913, the world's first moving assembly line debuted, used in manufacturing Model Ts at a Ford factory in Highland Park, Michigan. The innovation was the idea of owner Henry Ford, and it revolutionized the auto industry. December 1st, 1955. In violation of segregation laws in Montgomery, Alabama, Rosa Parks refused to surrender her bus seat to a white passenger and was arrested, sparking a 381-day bus boycott led by Martin Luther King Jr. December 2nd, 1804. Napoleon crowned himself Emperor of France in the presence of Pope Pius VII. And yes, quick shout out to that. Amen, Skip. Couldn't agree more. Now, let's see. December 2nd, 1823. The Monroe Doctrine, which declared that the U.S. would not interfere in European affairs, but that its sphere of interest included the entire Western Hemisphere, was enunciated by President James Monroe this day in 1823. Next up, December 3rd, 1818. Illinois was admitted as the 21st state of the United States of America. This next one, Anna, do you have your tissues ready? You're going to need them. December 3rd, 1948. Our beloved Ozzy Osbourne was born. All right, buddy's heading out. No worries, buddy. See you later. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you have a great weekend. And next, let's see. Yeah, I know. I know. Skip two. Okay. Let's move on to some good stuff here. Okay. December 4th, 1533. On this day in 1533, the 3-year-old who would become Ivan the Terrible was proclaimed Grand Prince of Moscow upon the death of his father, Grand Prince Vasily III, with his mother ruling in Ivan's name until her death in 1538. Let's see. Second to last one, December 5th, 1782. Martin Van Buren, who served as the 8th president of the United States and was one of the founders of the Democratic Party, was born. And last one. Let's make that full screen. December 5th, 1872. The American brigantine Mary Celeste was found abandoned some 400 nautical miles from the Azores, Portugal. The fate of the 10 people aboard still remains a mystery. And that will conclude our This Week in History segment. But here we go. I wanted to bring this up. I meant to bring this one up, but yeah. December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The Pearl Harbor attack is, we are recording this on December 5th, so December 7th is in 2 days from now. As far as I know, no one knows what happened to the Mary Celeste, right? Yeah, Anna, that's my take on it. When I was reading into that, I did not see, it's still a mystery as the thing says. But let's go ahead. Yeah, also falls on a Sunday this year. Correct, Eric. Pearl Harbor Day is a Sunday. So with that, let's go ahead and transition into our topic for tonight, which is going to be real life ships that were in movies. A while back, I had a friend of mine on by the name of Tim Costello, and the replay for that is available on the channel. We did fictional ships in movies. This time around, I'm going to be doing real ships. Now, this is not a comprehensive list of every ship that's ever been in a movie. It's not going to be a full list of the ships we're talking about either. It's just some ones that come to mind while I was doing a little research for this topic. And some of these I have seen, some of these I have not seen. And based on the ones I have seen, I will recommend them to you or not. And Mark, thank you, because I completely forgot to put that on my list. Mark says USS Nimitz. And for those of you who have been around the channel a lot, you know that I have mentioned this movie before. USS Nimitz was in a movie called The Final Countdown. So yeah, kind of like the song from Europe, The Final Countdown. So yeah, I completely forgot about that one. So thanks for reminding me. So if you've not seen The Final Countdown, I absolutely recommend it. It's a good movie. It's it's science fiction stuff, but it's a really cool what if story. I'll type the name of it again in the chat. The Final Countdown. There you go. Anna has never heard of the Final Countdown. I would definitely recommend checking it out, Anna. Excuse me. Like I said, it's a science fiction film, and it's basically like a what if type movie. It's a big what if scenario, and I thoroughly enjoyed that movie. But anyway, let's move on to our first ship, and let's see. Okay, so here we go. This movie is called Saboteur, which I have never seen. It is a 1942 movie directed by Alfred Hitchcock. Can anyone take a guess on which ship was in this movie? Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, the aircraft carrier Enterprise was out at sea. They used the USS Ranger where Chekhov was. Oh, that's cool. I did not know that. Let's see. No, Anna, the Queen Mary was not used in this movie, but you are on the right path. An ocean liner was in this movie. So I'll wait a few more seconds, see if anybody can guess it. I know you're all Googling right now. So who Googles and types it in the chat first? Nope, not the Queen Elizabeth. All right. I'm going to count it down. No, Ozzy, not the SS United States. Okay. The Normandy is in this movie. Nope, Mark, not Olympic. No, Eric, not Titanic. The Normandy, the SS Normandy, makes an appearance in this movie. So let's see. Well, or as she is known at this point in time, the Lafayette. And you can see here she is capsized in New York Harbor. As I understand it, there's a scene towards the end of the movie where the saboteur is in a car, and they're driving along right near the dock. And Normandy, this shot of Normandy is actually in the movie. Now, again, I've not seen the movie, but I have seen the clip, and I can confirm that it was most certainly the Normandy. I'm still popping cough drops, guys. Sorry. What a loss for ocean liners. She was one of the greats. Oh, she most certainly was one of the greats, without a doubt. But, and again, I've not seen the movie, but from what I understand about it, it is implied that the saboteur in the movie is responsible for the ship capsizing. Ghostbusters 2, the Titanic came home. Yeah, even though that didn't look anything like the Titanic at all, technically, you could say it was in Ghostbusters 2. So that is the only movie I am aware of that the Normandy was in, but there it is. Let's move on to our next ship. Yeah, we all know this ship pretty well. And she's been in a number of movies, and I'm sure the fire department was responsible. So yeah, here's the Queen Mary. As we know, she has been in a number of movies, some good, some not so good, if we're being honest. Let's see. So let's move on. And there it is, obviously, easily the best movie that the Queen Mary has ever been in my opinion, The Poseidon Adventure, and obviously better than the 2006 remake with the fictional Poseidon. That I don't think that ship was an actual real ship. But as we know, the Queen Mary was the ship used as the SS Poseidon. You won't even watch the remake. Yeah, you're wasting your time. It's really not a good movie. If you've seen this one, you've seen the best one. And I would dare say, personal opinion, that Poseidon Adventure is probably tied with The Towering Inferno for best disaster flick of the 1970s, in my opinion. Each of them has something I like a little bit more than the other. So again, they're pretty much tied. I probably go lean towards Poseidon Adventure a little bit more, but not much. If you've ever seen, if you've never, and I know that one's nothing to do with ships, but if you've never seen The Towering Inferno, I would highly recommend watching that movie. It is definitely a good movie. It's a little long, but it's a good movie. Let's see some of the other movies that Queen Mary has been in. And I don't think I've seen that. Oh, you should definitely put it on your list. It's a very good movie. So the next one, SOS Titanic, which came out in 1979. And this is a movie I have not seen, but based on what I was reading about this movie on IMDb, the Queen Mary was used for some external shots, and they even made a few goofs when they did this movie. From what I understand, according to the IMDb, there's a few shots where you can clearly tell that it's the Queen Mary that they're using in the movie because they show the Queen Mary's funnels in some of the shots. They didn't bother to. I mean, I guess they didn't have CGI back then, so you can't digitally erase the Queen Mary's funnels and put Titanics on there. Mark says it sucks. So Mark, I'm assuming you've seen this movie based on your comment that it sucks. So I will definitely keep that in mind as to whether or not I'm going to watch this. Eric, haven't seen The Towering Inferno since the 70s? Oh, yeah, you should definitely watch The Towering Inferno again. Skip says he just watched this. It was cool, but not historically accurate. And I don't remember it, but the title seems familiar. Yeah, I've heard of this movie before, but I never bothered to watch it. As I've long said, and I think most people would agree, A Night to Remember is probably the most historically accurate Titanic movie, with the exception of the final plunge. Cameron's Titanic movie is the second best one, and I put it behind A Night to Remember because of the fictional story that he's telling, which is not a criticism. It's just not as accurate as A Night to Remember. I don't know how else to put that. So anyway, let's move on. This is another one I have not seen, but it looks pretty interesting. So I might actually seek this one out and check it out. It's called Assault on a Queen, and it was done in 1966. And you can tell by the poster, for the most part, what's happening. It looks like they're trying to hijack or rob the Queen Mary at sea. This main character right here, and the girl and this guy, you can clearly see they're on a submarine. I'm guessing they're going to try and board the Queen Mary, and like I said, up to do some nefarious things on board. So yeah, like I said, I may actually seek this one out and give it a look. Has anyone seen this one? I know there's two more involving the Queen Mary, and I know probably the vast majority of us have seen one of those. Actually, there's three more involving the Queen Mary. Queen Mary's been in a lot of movies. Old Blue Eyes is in this movie. Sinatra's in this movie. Let's see. Mark says, IMO Titanic 1997 was ruined because of the love story. I would disagree. I don't think that ruined the movie at all. I think it worked for that movie because the point of Jack and Rose, of course, was Cameron wanted the audience to have an emotional connection to the story, the characters, whereas you can only do so much with real historical figures. At least that's my take on it anyway. Mark says, I saw Salt. It was okay. Okay, well, I'm good with okay. If it was at least okay, I would consider checking it out. So let's see what's next. Ah, yes, this thing. So this movie came out in 2023, and I think this was towards the end of COVID and all of that stuff. And it's not good at all. It's a horror movie. Obviously, you can tell by that. Yeah, what the hell is that? It is a horror movie filmed on board the Queen Mary, and it's just not good. That's the best thing I can say about it. um, let's see. Can we just watch Ghost Ship instead? We can absolutely just watch Ghost Ship instead, because even though the Antonio Grazza was a fictional ship, that movie smokes this movie by miles. It's not even close. So Skip said, I don't know. I liked it. Just a fun movie. I mean, to each their own. If you liked it, cool. I thought it was absolutely terrible, and I am a big horror movie fan. So, um, I personally just do not recommend this movie. And let's see, let's highlight that. Antonia Grazia was based on the Andrea Doria, wasn't it? I believe it was, but don't hold me to that. I'd have to go back and it's been a while since I've honestly thought about that movie, so I would need to read up on it. Anyway, let's move on to the next movie that the Queen Mary was in, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of opinions on this one. Oh gosh. Oh my god. This thing here. I can't wait to see the comments on this. Ghost Ship is still on Tubi. Is it bad? I haven't seen this one, asks Anna. Anna, this is probably even worse than the horror movie we were just talking about. It's so bad it should be considered like a bad horror movie, even though it's not in the horror genre. um, Essentially, there is a ship called Titanic 2. And if you zoom in real good, you can see Titanic 2 on the bow of the Queen Mary right here. And they're going out to essentially recreate the maiden voyage of Titanic. And they encounter bad weather, if memory serves, and it goes downhill very, very fast. Not a single likable character in the movie. Oh, goodness. I hope that the Queen Mary, like the museum or whatever, I hope they got paid at least for having the ship in this movie, because, oh, wow. If not, that would be the biggest insult to the Queen Mary. Eric, it does not hit an iceberg from what I remember. I forget exactly how everything goes down because I'd only ever seen the movie once, but there might have been, I think it was bad weather or something to that effect that causes everything to happen. Buddy's back. Welcome back, Buddy. So, if I had to rate this movie out of 5 stars, and I guess I should have been doing this all along, at least for the ones I've seen, Um, the newer Titanic movie is bad. I didn't know there was another Titanic 2. So yeah, that's the thing. When you see the title Titanic 2, anyone who's never seen this movie probably assumes it's a sequel to James Cameron's Titanic, but it's not. It has nothing to do with Jack and Rose. It's its own story with new fictional characters. It's just awful. If I had to rate this out of 5 stars, I would give this movie 1 out of 5. It was absolutely terrible. Buddy in this ship movie got hit with a tsunami carrying an iceberg and slammed the iceberg into the hull. Okay. Well, your memory on it's better than mine. I don't remember an iceberg being in it. But now that you mention, I do seem to remember a tsunami. Mark says yes. Okay. See, I don't remember that at all. And this movie takes place in relatively modern times. So you would think, as all modern ships these days, an iceberg theoretically cannot sink a modern vessel. But I guess in this movie, it does. Yeah. Ozzy, I'll give it a half star. Mark says -1 out of 5. First watch for Buddy 4.5, now 2.5. Yeah, you were way more generous than I was. I thought this thing was, it's one of the worst movies involving a ship I've ever seen. But anyway, we've got one more movie involving the Queen Mary, although the movie does not star the Queen Mary. Never say never. Just because something shouldn't happen doesn't mean it can't. Oh, absolutely. I completely agree with that. So I say, theoretically, a modern ship should not, an iceberg should not be able to sink a modern ship, in theory. Now, I'm sure you could come up with a number of circumstances where that might be possible. Eric, plot twist: iceberg hit ship instead of ship hitting iceberg. So original, right? Okay. Last one involving the Queen Mary. I am sure that all of you have seen this turd at one point or another. Um, and I've mentioned this movie before, I believe. Well, first, let's get to why or the how and the when the Queen Mary is in this movie. You've actually not seen this? Well, sit tight. I'm going to tell you why. Mark says awesome movie. Oh no, no, I can't agree. I'm sorry. I think this movie's a complete turd. So there is a scene in the movie right before Ben Affleck's character is going off to Britain, I believe, to go into the Royal Air Force, which that in and of itself, from what I understand, never happened in real life. But if a historian sees this and knows better, feel free to correct me. But anyway, they're on a little boat. Ben Affleck and Kate Beckinsale, their characters, and they're right by the Queen Mary, and you can see it. It's the Queen Mary in all her glory, right behind them in the shot. They're on a little boat in the water in front of the ship. The problem with that is, well, yes, we all know, no big secret, the Queen Mary served as a troop ship in World War II, but they showed the ship in her canard paint scheme. At the time the movie is taking place, the Queen Mary was not painted in her canard colors. She would have been painted in her gray ghost colors. So that is just one of a billion inaccuracies with this movie. Um, she would have been in that paint scheme. Correct. She would have been in her gray ghost paint scheme. Now, as far as the movie itself, one of the reasons why it's so bad, remember, this was, I believe, in 2000 or 2001, this movie came out. So we're 3 or 4 years removed from James Cameron's Titanic. This movie tries so hard to be Titanic. It's disgusting. But they take it to the stupidest levels because, first Kate Beckinsale's character is with Ben Affleck's character. Then she's with Josh Hartnett's character, and there's this big love triangle and all this nonsense going on. They had a dancing scene in the first class saloon on the Queen Mary. Oh, that's cool. I did not know that. But anyway, I remember looking at a website where they picked apart the historical inaccuracies in this movie, and the list is like, it's ridiculously long. Like, nobody can beat James Cameron's Titanic movie. It came out in 2001. Okay, yeah, I knew it was either 2000 or 2001. I could not remember exactly what year it was. But another one, I'll give it 2 stars alone based on cinematography. Now, when the actual Pearl Harbor attack scene happens in the movie, the cinematography is outstanding. I mean, it's incredible. But even that scene gets drug out. It just goes on way too long. But I won't spoil the ending for Anna since she's never seen it in case she decides to see it. But the ending of the movie is completely ridiculous. There's another throwaway scene in there after the attack. It's a mess. The whole movie is just a mess. Maybe if James Cameron did this, it'd have been a whole lot better. But anyway, getting back on topic, those are some of the movies that the Queen Mary has been in. We're going to move on to our next ship. Aha. Here we go. The Big USS United States. She was a celebrity as well, not just because of her speed and her beauty, but because she was in a couple of movies as well. Which, by the way, for those of you who may not have been here at the very beginning of the stream, I mentioned this. I'll mention it again. The footage or the new video I put out last week with the new footage of the SS United States in just a week's time has become the second most watched full-length video on the channel with 26,000 views. So that may be a drop in the bucket for some channels, but 26,000 views is a lot of views on my tiny little channel. So I just want to mention that again and thank everyone who has watched that video. But anyway, welcome, American Loyalist. Good to see you. Yeah, Eric, congrats. Thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate it. But anyway, the SS United States has been in 2 different movies. And of course, it was the first one was already mentioned here in the chat. This movie called Bon Voyage. I believe it is it's a Disney movie. Obviously, you can see where it says Walt Disney on there. And I believe it is like a comedy movie or a family type movie. In either case, I'll be honest, that's not really my thing. I'm really more of a horror and a sci-fi movie nerd. So I probably would not watch this movie just because from what I've read, honestly, it really doesn't look like it interests me all that much. I would only want to see the scenes for the SS United States. We have a super chat. Oh my goodness, Skip. My friend, thank you. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate that. $40 from Skip. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate that. Wow. StreamYard has been paid for another month. And then some. Thank you so much, Skip. I really appreciate that. Wasn't Fred McMurray the guy in My Three Sons? I don't know. Can somebody Google that? So yeah, this was one of the movies that she was in. There is one more movie that the SS United States was in. And it's one you wouldn't expect. Munster, Go Home. There are some exterior shots involving the SS United States that was in this movie. Apparently, the Munsters travel across the pond, and this movie was done in 1966. And the only way to travel, or at least at that time, they took the SS United States. And I have not, I remember I probably seen this movie when I was a kid, like really, really young, young to the point where I don't remember it. But I seem to remember my dad watching The Munsters. So chances are this movie was played in our house at some point, and I just don't remember it. Now, how many here remember that show? I certainly remember The Munsters. But anyway, yeah, so the SS United States exterior shots of the ship were used in this movie. Now, was it stock footage? I do not know. Was it actual footage they filmed specifically for this movie? I do not know that either. I definitely need to go back and rewatch the movie. Uh, let's see. Well, Buddy's got a question here. If you had a time machine, would you go back and see SS United States before she retired? If I had a time machine, Buddy, I would go back and see more ships than I could list in this live stream right now with the time we've got. So to answer, the short answer to your question is yes, absolutely. But there's a plethora of others, from ocean liners to warships, that I would absolutely want to go back. And yes, Mark, absolutely. You know me. Come on. Yes, of course, Olympic. Hell, I would even say I would take the same exact voyage that Father Brown took on Titanic if I had a time machine. Because remember, what did he do? He boarded at Southampton. He got off in Queenstown. I would take that same voyage so I could have been on Titanic. Your first stop would be Woodstock. That's an interesting choice, but Anna is a music lover, so I'm aware of that. Let's see. So anyway, that wraps up our first, our SS United States one, and we're going to transition into some warships here for a bit, and we're going to start off with this vessel right here. Now, I imagine most of you probably do not know what this ship is, but you can see she's got a hull number right here, DE 634. So as we know, DE means destroyer escort. This ship is called the USS Whitehurst. And again, she is a destroyer escort. And she was in a very good movie. She was the main ship in this movie here. The Enemy Below. So if you have not seen this movie is from 1957, and I highly recommend it. You can watch this for free. Oh, crack voice there. You can watch this for free. It's either on YouTube or Tubi. And the gist of the movie is, if you look at the poster, it pretty much shows you. You've got the ship right here, and this is the crew of the ship. That's the captain right here. And you've got a U-boat right here. And this is the captain of the U-boat right here. And essentially what it is, it's a cat and mouse game between the two captains, the captain of the destroyer escort and the captain of the sub. And it's a cat and mouse game to see who's going to sink the other one. And it's very, very good movie. If I had to rate this movie out of 5 stars, I would probably go with 4 stars. It's an above average movie. In my opinion, it is definitely worth watching. Yeah. So Mark and Anna say they wrote it down. Ozzy says based on a true story. So yeah, again, free on either Tubi or YouTube. I highly recommend watching it. Now, that's the only movie for this particular vessel. This next vessel, everybody's going to be a little bit more familiar with. Our beloved BB-60, USS Alabama, the Mighty A. Hope everybody enjoyed the new video that came out last night about Battleship Memorial Park, by the way. Make sure you go and subscribe to their YouTube channel at USS Alabama 60. Were real ships used in like the Hunt for Red October? And there's another sub movie from the 90s. You're probably thinking about Crimson Tide, Anna. Admittedly, I did not research those two movies to see if those were real ships used in those movies, but I have seen both, and yeah, for sure, those are excellent movies. But anyway, BB-60 has been in a few different movies as well, and we're going to check out a few of these. First up, this movie, which came out in 2016, USS Indianapolis, Men of Courage. I have not seen this movie, but as you can see, Nicolas Cage, Tom Sizemore, Thomas Jane in this movie. I'm adding this to my list because, again, I've never seen this movie, and I don't remember what the plot was, but from what I read about it, it sounded like it might be interesting. Ozzy says, yes, they use real ships in the Hunt for Red October. Now, since we're on Bama, the sub in Crimson Tide was the USS Alabama. Now, I do not know if that was a real sub or not. And I haven't heard of this one. Skip has seen this. Skip says Cage is awesome in this. We'll highlight that. That's good to know, Skip, because, again, I've not seen this. So that's going to be put on my list of movies to watch. Let's see what was next. Yes. Steven Seagal, Under Siege, back from 1992. USS Alabama was in this movie. Now, the movie is actually about the USS Missouri, but the Navy would not give the film company permission to film aboard Missouri at the time. So Alabama stands in for Missouri in this movie. Seen it, great movie. It's been many, many years since I've seen this movie. I would probably actually have to rewatch it before I would give it a star rating, because it's probably been like 20 years since I've seen it. Eric, does he say that? Eric says Ryan Zemansky calls this a documentary. Ryan Zemansky, of course, the curator at Battleship New Jersey. Yeah, it was called again. As he says, but it was called USS Missouri. Yeah, it again. The movie was about the Missouri, but the Navy would not allow them to film on Missouri, so the film company used Alabama as a stand-in for Missouri. Skip had not seen it, but love Seagal. So looks like, Skip, you and I both have to add this to our watch list. Because, again, I've seen it, but I really don't remember it. It's been that long. So Speaking of Mighty Mo here, USS Missouri, of course, has been in a movie since 1992, and we all know what movie that would be. This movie right here. And I I don't care that it's not the greatest movie. I enjoy watching this movie only for the scenes at the very end when Missouri comes back to life. They take her out to sea and she kicks some alien butt. Ooh, now this movie caught my attention. Uh, yeah, honestly, it's not a good movie, but I enjoy watching this. This is a movie where you shut your brain off, pop some popcorn, sit back, and have a good time watching this ridiculous movie with some amazing scenes of Mighty Mo coming back to life and kicking butt. I mean, that's all I can say. I would probably go with like 2.5 stars out of five, only because of the very end. If this movie did not have Missouri in it, or you know, I would probably rank it a lot lower. No, skip now on my list. Eric, I've not seen it, but not heard anything good about it. If you watch the last, I don't know, last 30 minutes or so of the movie just for the scenes to see Missouri come back to life, you're good. I mean, again, it's a big blockbuster. It's a dumb, fun popcorn movie. Shut your brain off, watch, pop some popcorn, sit back, and have a good laugh. Yeah, exactly, Ozzy. No one is going to sink this battleship, and they say that in the movie. And while they're getting the ship ready, they're playing Thunderstruck from AC/DC, and man, that just pumps you up. So, anyway, we've got, let's see, who's next? Oh, yes, of course. We can't have this without giving another mention to DD-661, the Pirate of the Pacific, USS Kidd. USS Kidd, of course, has been a movie star as well. So that photo was taken by me, by the way. This was the last time I saw her in dry dock before she was taken out of the dry dock. Yes, DD-661. This is the first one she's in, and although she is only in it very, very briefly, I mean seconds, towards the beginning of the movie, ship was still in service. Oh, yes, Eric, you know it. Woohoo, DD-661. So I think it's in the first 20 minutes of the movie, Kidd is standing in for what would be a Japanese destroyer. Clark Gable here is looking through the periscope of his sub, and it's a shot of Kidd coming straight at them. But again, she's portraying a Japanese destroyer, and she's still in service at the time. I believe. I didn't write down the year, but I believe Kidd was still in service at the time, and she's moving. She's not being towed. She is moving. So there you go. Run Silent, Run Deep. I would very much recommend this movie, not just because of the 5 seconds or whatever that Kidd's in the movie. It's actually a really, really good movie. Another one that is free on either YouTube or Tubi. I would give this 4 stars, in my opinion. Let's see. Next one. No. How about that? Kidd was in Battleship, if you do not remember. So in Battleship, there's a scene where the girl here, Rihanna, she goes into, I think it's CIC, and you got the two older gentlemen. They're like, "You work on a destroyer, right?" And she's like, "Yeah." And they're like, "You ready to play with the big boys?" And she's, "Yes, sir." And they're like, "All right, well, we need all the help we can get." So that scene, even though Kidd, you don't see any shots of Kidd on the exterior, and she never gets a mention in the movie. Um, that scene is filmed on board Kidd. It was filmed in Baton Rouge on the ship before the ship left the dry dock. Does the Kidd get sunk? No, Kidd does not get sunk in this movie. Actually, John Paul Jones gets sunk in this movie. Now, I don't know if that was actual real John Paul Jones or not. But anyway, and of course, when you talk about Kidd, you talk about the movie she's now most famous for, Greyhound, where she is the star. She is the star of the movie. You could say Tom Hanks, but Kidd's the star of the movie too. Now, if you want a full comprehensive list of all the movies and TV shows that Kidd has been in, you can find that on the channel. Go into, I'll pull it up for you guys real quick. The second live stream that Tim Nesmith and I from the Kidd did together, and let me find the video. I will point it out to you guys. Let's see. Got some interviews. Let's see. Sorry, bear with me a sec. Okay, yep. So no. So it's called USS Kidd Dry Dock Update and More. I was trying to pull up a picture, but it's not going to let me. But if you go to that live stream, the 1 hour and 50-minute mark, we transition into that topic, and Tim goes over all the complete list of every movie, TV show, documentary that Kidd has been in. Was the Kidd in the movie in Harm's Way with John Wayne? I am not certain on that, Ozzy. I would defer to that stream I was just telling you about. So, guys, that is going to wrap up this list here of movies that I was going to discuss with you guys. And hopefully you found some new recommendations, some suggestions for movies you can add to your watch list to see some real ships, some real historical vessels in movies. I believe they have it on the Kidd's website too. They might. That'd be a good place to check out too. And like 9 of them. Oh, wait. But wait. There's more. Actually, there's only one more. So, yeah. Yes. Real dive footage of the real Titanic was used in James Cameron's Titanic. So, there you have it. How did you almost forget? Oh, well, you know. Yeah. So even Titanic, who sunk really almost before motion pictures was even a thing, Titanic was in a movie about herself. All right. So there you have it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. I thought this would be a fun little topic to discuss with you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got some new movies to add to your watch list again. I've already got a few that I'm going to be adding to my watch list as well. Now, buddy, now I want to watch Titanic, right? So anyway, that is going to wrap up the stream for this week, guys. Skip, again, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. Much appreciated. That will fund StreamYard for another month and a little bit beyond that. My ex-twin sister watched this and didn't realize I was smart. It was based on steroids. Cool. Okay. So that is going to do it for this week, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. And as always, until the next time, oh, remember, make sure you are subscribed to the channel because there might possibly be some on location streams this weekend. The situation is very fluid, and hopefully, with weather pending, we can make that happen. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Enjoy your weekend, and until the next time, you guys know the drill. Drive safely.